doesn't mean that you're Singaporean or share. Right. What is the perspective of politics? How, from a Malaysian point of view, from an investor point of view, how much does politics play, right, in your decision of investment in the market itself? Maybe you can share with us the perspective of that. And if you have questions, please feel free to put up your hand or be just watching. Right. Anybody want to share? Thank you.
Okay, to me, politics, of course, in Malaysia is not something for us to proudly shout about. And in fact, there's a lot of traumas in our politics. But put it this way, whoever that comes, we had the worst leader for the past, this is our worst leader for the past how many decades, right? This is the worst of the worst leaders we have. If in a good scenario it changed next year, well, it's a bonus. If it didn't, it will stay still as how it is right now. Looking at Malaysian economy or property prices, Malaysia's economy, or I would say Malaysia property, does not affect very much by the politics. So even if anyone would come and take this seat, I don't think it will ever affect the property prices.
As compared to many countries, I would say Malaysian politics is still considered rather stable. And generally, properties are very much driven by the economy of the countries. And one thing about Malaysian politics changes, it will be more of the changes between parties. I will be very confident to actually make a statement to say that the overall general policy that governing the country will not going to be drastically changed just because of the changing of the ruling party, if such things ever happen. So basically, the country is actually runs by a backbone of our national economic plan. Yeah, so it's like in a company that is actually come with a budgetary, a long-term budgets. Yeah, so I think for property investor, Malaysia, when we come to the relationship between the properties investments sector as well as the politics, I would say it doesn't actually carry a high risk as compared to maybe other countries.
KK, what's your thoughts?
So some of you might know me. I started with 327 Sing dollars, and today I own a lot of properties, including 2 hotels. So what happened is 5 years ago, I mentioned to people, start buying Malaysia properties. Today, if you have entered like myself 5 years ago, you would have already collected 5 years of rental, multiplied by the number of units that you own. So to me, whether the government is the current existing government or the opposition party, life will go on. As a property investor, you must really understand how to go about choosing a right property. Meaning to say, the location must be right, the entry price must be right, and your asking rental must be right. If all these 3 factors are right, no matter who the government is, if you know what kind of tenant profile to target, your property would be easily rented out. So moving forward, let's say another 5 years of a new government, I would be continuing to collect 5 years of rental, whether the government is the current government or the new government. So to me, it doesn't make a difference. Yeah.
Okay, great. Any questions from the floor? Wow, I thought we were all very political creatures in Singapore. Really, no question at all. There goes my mic.
Hi, I know you're talking about the politics. I think we put the politics aside, but there's this constant fear or concern that there's overbuilding in Iskandar. Do you agree with that?
His question is on overbuilding in Iskandar. So maybe one of you could share a bit about Iskandar.
Now, whether a property or any development is overbuilding or not, it's really depending on what is the time frame you are looking at. To begin with, Iskandar is not a 5-year plan. Iskandar is a long-term plan. So, just like I take an example of if you're talking about in KL, there is a place called Subang, USJ, if any of you are aware of. USJ is so-called like an extension of Subang. And USJ took about 10 to 15 years to mature up. Yeah. Why? Because always you need to have somebody who spearhead the development, and then the content of the economic productions will actually have to go in. And if you decide to go in today, the thing that you need to understand that the game plan is you may be the person who has to hold all the way until the maturity of that seed that you planted today is going to bear fruit. If you think that 10 years is too long of a plan, because within these 10 years you have no other strategy for rental return or investment return, then I suggest maybe Iskandar at this point in time may not be a right timing for you. But it doesn't mean it is not a right timing for another investor who may wanted to move into Iskandar for various purchase reasons. For instance, the person may be looking for a family home or a weekend home or for whatever purposes, then right now it probably will be the best time. Because when all the businesses and economy comes in, Iskandar prices will not be what you're seeing today. Yeah, so buying purpose is one very important factor. And to talk about Iskandar today and to talk about Iskandar in 2 years or 5 years' time, I can tell you the answer will be very much different. But one thing is for sure, Iskandar is a project that is backed by the state government. So long as it does actually have this governmentary support at the back, it is actually part of the state development plan. Yeah, so if you believe and you have confidence in the states that is actually backing up this particular initiative, then you will find your reason to enter into the market. If you think that it may be premature at this point in time, then maybe you wanted to wait and see.
All right.
I think maybe Vicky can finish what she says.
For me, I put it in a valuable point of view. For a person to invest in any place, no matter it's Iskandar or any place, any other place, because a lot of other places also quite overly built and a lot of developments are ongoing. Developers will not stop building. But put it this way, before you venture or invest into any other place, population is the number one you have to look into. You have to look into the place, is it sustainable to have population? Is the population able to grow? Are there people going to migrate into these places? When answering all these questions, the best thing to look into is the township, the master plan of the whole development. If it is a 20 years development, what is the component there that will attract people to move into this place? Like, we call it a black hole. Is it able to suck in all this population to make this place crowded? Is it possible? If it is yes, then it will be a good place to invest, despite the supply.
Okay, to answer that question, first of all, you need to understand your intention of investing in the particular Iskandar property. Because I'm a property investor, and I only believe in real people doing real things. We don't talk theory. Okay? So this is what one of my friends did in real life. No theory, it's for real. So what happened is, he owns a HDB, right? You all know HDB rental, right? Is it resilient? Yes or no? No idea. Okay, anyway. He rented out his HDB for 2,000 over Sing dollars. So if you multiply 2,000 over Sing dollars times 3 is about 6,000 ringgit. So what he did with this 6 to 7,000 is he bought a piece of landed property in Iskandar. And he stays there because he's self-employed. And his monthly installment is only 2,000 over. So let me ask you, you do the sums. 6,000 minus 2,000, how much spare pocket money you have every month? 4,000, right? Can you retire already if you want to? 4,000 is something like a senior executive salary in Malaysia, right? So this is what real people do. So his intention is to own a piece of freehold landed property. In Singapore, you don't have 2M, you don't have 2 million, you don't talk about landed. So his dream is to own a freehold. And he gets to own a piece of freehold for free. Because he rented out his HDB and he bought a piece of landed. And he used his tenant's money to pay for his property. Yes?
I think we have a question here as well.
Yeah. Is the Malaysian government keen on promoting investment in Malaysia? For example, they keep on raising the foreign subsidy levy from 500,000 to 1 million, and so killed a lot of investor confidence because the affordability of Malaysia is about 750,000 in